What a massive week in crypto. Everyone is about to cover the Genius Act that was just signed into law by President Donald Trump. And so, what does this mean for the cryptocurrency markets? You may be thinking Ripple's stablecoin, RLUSD, or Circle with USDC. However, I am thinking of something much smaller in terms of market cap. I am looking at one of the best opportunities out there. And so I am going to be talking about Telcoin. They have been focusing on compliance and building a stablecoin solution for many years. And so I definitely believe that this is going under the radar and this is a great opportunity. And so we're also going to be taking a look at a video clip from the CEO, Paul, talking about what is coming for Telcoin and what impact this is going to have. And so if you enjoy this video, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. And so as I mentioned, this is a massive step for the cryptocurrency markets, right? The first cryptocurrency bill to ever be signed into law. Now, how does this impact Telcoin? Right? Telcoin has already secured a state-issued digital asset bank charter in Nebraska months ago, while others now have 18 months to become compliant. And they have been focusing on compliance since day one, right? A lot of people wonder why there's not marketing out for Telcoin, or why they have not been listed on many tier 1 exchanges. They have been focusing on the bigger picture. They want to make sure that they are compliant and meeting regulations. And so they have been working very closely with members of the Senate, right? With Senator Mike Flood. And so they're on the verge of their digital asset bank going live, the first digital asset bank in the United States. And so Telcoin is already cleared to launch a regulated USD stablecoin. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that here. We can see the chart for Telcoin. We currently have it trading at 0.006 with a market cap of $589 million. Now to put that into perspective, Ripple's market cap is $200 billion. Now I'm not saying that Telcoin can reach that. However, that does show that Telcoin here is approximately 400 times less in market cap. And so this is a massive opportunity with what they have been working on accomplishing. And so if you're interested in buying Telcoin, this is not listed on a lot of exchanges. And so one of the easiest ways to buy this right now is by downloading the Telcoin app. And so there is a link underneath the video for this if you are interested. And so you can easily buy and store your Telcoin through the app. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the LB 649 bill. Let's go back in time here. Back to January 20th, 2021. So we're talking over 4 years ago. We had Senator Mike Flood introduce this bill. And this was approved by Governor Pete Ricketts. Now, Pete Ricketts was very involved with the Genius Act that was just signed into law. And so we're going to look at how these two interact and tie them together. If we go ahead and take a look at this, we can see on February 4th, 2025, just a few months ago, Telcoin was granted approval to open Nebraska's first digital asset bank. And so, Telcoin meets all of the regulations and compliance. We just had the Genius bill passed for stablecoins. If we go ahead and take a look at this bill here, the Genius Act, that has now been signed by the president. If we go ahead and take a look at co-sponsors here, we can see that Senator Pete Ricketts is on here. Now, Senator Pete Ricketts from Nebraska was also involved with the LB 649 bill, which is tied to Telcoin. And so, I definitely believe that Telcoin is involved with writing some of the rules and making sure they're compliant with the Genius Act. Now, as I mentioned, other people have 18 months to make sure that they're compliant. Now, Telcoin's already ready to go. They have gotten approval to launch the first digital asset bank in Nebraska. They're getting ready to fully go live in September. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at a video clip here talking about what the future of Telcoin looks like.
No, I'm happy to finally join. And I think I'm in many ways been along for the ride in a lot of this. So really appreciate everybody's interest in participating in the decentralized governance. I don't think anyone really had any idea how this was going to unfold, but it's been pretty exciting. I think it'll be a lot more exciting here once we get the bank launched and also Telcoin network, obviously. So, so I think just taking a step back, I think it is important. You know, my whole background is obviously in telecom. I'm dealing with the GSMA since mainly fraud and security group since 20 years ago, and really saw in a lot of areas like roaming and interconnect, how commercial companies can step in and cooperate and participate in GSMA and effectively define the standards. So all of the ways that telecoms clear on a monthly basis or on a real-time basis what they owe to each other for roaming, interconnect, and whatnot, messaging and voice and data, all of that was defined by commercial companies just decided to start participating and cooperating with GSMA, and they defined the standards, right? So, we've participated in the stablecoin white paper. We've been participating with all, the conferences and whatnot. But I think when we really do actually get the network out there, and we'll have racks in at least 50 mobile networks, around the world, running Telcoin network, but also a TEL version of Base, Avalanche, and a bunch of other chains alongside it by the end of this year. So that's when I think it gets really exciting. The other side of this is that stablecoins are crazy, right? Everyone is really going crazy about it. We've been talking about them for a while, but telecoms in particular are trying to figure out how they can get into it. And so, the reason why I think everyone understands why we want to incentivize this pool, but just to make sure people get it, we put our EXYZ stables out there. None of them really make sense. That's a foundational block that doesn't make a whole lot of sense until you turn on a rail in that country. We're about to do that with Mexico. So we've got our banking partner fully onboarded. We fully onboarded with a Mexican banking partner just this week. And so we're able to turn that EMXN rail on in Mexico. And just so people understand, from the company's perspective, at least, not the association, the wallet is really migrating to more of a stablecoin banking app. And the goal is to, in our first milestone that we're really shooting towards by, say, early next year, is in 5 markets, US, EU, Mexico, India, and Kenya, to be issuing local bank account numbers directly tied to the EXYZ stablecoin. And so that's really creating, I guess you could think of it like a stablecoin version of Revolut is sort of where we're trying to go. From the perspective of the telecoms that we're talking to, all of them are interested in one, definitely doing some sort of stablecoin version of whatever mobile money platform they already have, and they want help with that. But the other thing that they are all interested, as soon as we explain it to them, at least, is if they're going to get into blockchain, they really should support chains that only telecoms can earn a fee off of, right? So that's really what we've been pushing with the Telcoin network, and that's not only for Telcoin network, but the fact that working with some of these other chains, we'll have a TEL version of these other chains that'll facilitate real-time, zero finality access to the mainnet liquidity on all these other chains. And so what that all means, I mean, the EMXN USDC pool is really just that first rail. And one of the things that we don't talk about publicly, but it's an elephant in the room, is that what we have as the way our wallet works is actually an assisted self-custody wallet, right? We hold one of the keys, and legally in the majority of countries, that's not technically requiring a crypto exchange license even, right? We've embraced that though, because we want to be able to have proper rails, unlike say a MetaMask, who really is like fine to leave that up to third parties. But what that means is that, technically, like if you look at all the money transmitter laws in the United States, almost half of them, well, I would say all of them require you to take full custody of an asset to be considered money transmission, which is great for us because we can argue that we're not transmitting money then if we're only holding one key, right? That's an assisted self-custody setup, which in the US doesn't require money transmission license. I think when you talk about our own stablecoins though, and having actual rails where you do have to custody the asset in within the rail or within the direct exchange of EMXN to EUSD or some other one, right?
So you can hear it there from Paul, right? They're getting very close. We have rails that are going to be going live in Mexico here very soon. The bank is going to be going live in September. And so we're starting to see implementation of the technology that they have been building for the last 4 or 5 years. And so once we start seeing implementation, I think we will see a lot more attention and traction on Telcoin. And so the Genius bill was a massive step in the cryptocurrency markets. However, I am looking at the projects that are ready to go. And the first that comes to mind is Telcoin. And so they have digital cash here, right? That is now live in the Telcoin wallet. They have the EMXN Mexican peso here ready to go, right? They have all of these other stablecoins. And this is going to be the first regulated bank-issued digital dollar. And so Telcoin is definitely focusing on the bigger picture here. I believe they know what they are doing, and they have been focusing on compliance, right? They've been working with Senator Mike Flood. Senator Mike Flood has been working with Donald Trump. We have Pete Ricketts that's been working very closely with Mike Flood as well. And so all of these seem to be very closely tied together. And so if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. Make sure to check out that link underneath the video to the Telcoin app if you're interested in buying Telcoin. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.